ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरम्। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तिसुदेशिकेन्द्रं द्वैपायनं सूत्रकृतं मुनीन्द्रं श्रीशंकरं भाष्यकृतं यतीन्द्रं मध्येशिकञ्चापि नमामि विद्यै। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञानगणः प्रत्यगर्तो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। Namaste everyone. So, in the introduction to Vedanta, we have started doing Jiva Vichara. Who is the individual? And this is the first part of the Jnana Yoga. The Jnana Yoga basically deals with four things, we can say: Jiva Vichara, Ishvara Vichara, Jiva Ishvara Sambandha, and Jnana Phala or Moksha Phala. In other words, we will analyze who is the individual, who is Ishvara, what is the relationship between the individual and the Ishvara, and finally, what is the benefit of getting this knowledge. So, with regards to this Jiva, individual, we saw the individual has got two components. One, which is the Chetana Tattvam, the consciousness principle, and then the Achetana Tattvam, which is the matter principle. Chetana Tattvam is the consciousness principle which makes the individual sentient, aware of things. So the sentiency and the awareness is given by the Chetana Tattvam. The matter principle is the physical body, the body that we have. And this matter principle, Achetana Tattvam, is divided into, we saw that there are three bodies: Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, and Karana Shariram. The physical or the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. And then the physical body, we saw, for each of these bodies we were seeing what is the material that it is made of, what are the components of the body, what is the function, and finally what is the nature. And with regards to the Sthula Sarira, we saw that it is made of the Pancha Sthula Bhutas, the five elements, namely space, air, fire, water, and earth. Akasha, Vayuhu, Vayur Agnihi, Agner Apaha, Apeh Prithivi. So the five elements, the gross elements. And with regards to the components, either we can actually split them into four, which is the head portion, the hands, the body, trunk, and then the legs. Or you have the Sapta Dhatu, we saw: Rasa, Rakta, Mamsa, Meda, Asti, Majja, Sukra. Basically the lymph, blood, flesh, fat, bone, marrow, and the semen. With regards to the function of the physical body, we saw that the function is Bhoga Ayatanam. It is actually the residence, place of residence for the Jiva. Only, and in terms of how long can we use this body, we can use this body as long as our karma allows us to be. Once the lease tenancy period is over, we will have to vacate this house. So it's a kind of a residence. The physical body is nothing but a leased residence. And in terms of the nature, we saw that it's got Shat Vikara. It's got 6 types of modifications. Asti, Jayate, Vardate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, and Vinashyati. Basically, we can say that potential existence, birth, growth, metamorphosis, decay, and then finally death. So the physical body goes through these 6 modifications. These 6 modifications is very popular. Shat Vikara, wherever we will see, you will have to use them. You will have to understand that this is the 6 modifications that we are talking about in Shastras. And in terms of the visibility, it is visible for us, it is perceivable for us, and it is also perceived by others. It is evident to me as well as to others. Longevity, we saw, we have the duration of life. Basically, whatever between the birth and the death is its life. And how do we get this? What is it that we actually, on what basis is this body given to us? It is given based on the prarabdha karma that we bring. Whatever punya or papa we pay to get this body. And what is it that we pay? We pay in terms of karma, actions or attitude that we have. And that results in papa or punya, and that is what we pay to actually get this body. Then we went to Sukshma Shariram. Sukshma Shariram, we saw that it is also made of Panchabhutas, but only thing is subtle elements. The subtle Panchabhutas are basically the from where we have got this Sukshma Shariram. So the material is Panchabhutas again. And in terms of the components, we saw it was 19 components. 19 components divided in 4 sections. The first section is Pancha Jnanendriyas, which is the 5 sense organs: ear, skin, eyes, tongue and nose, to basically gather information from the world in the form of Shabda, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha. And each of these subtle body has got a presiding deity or a corresponding total power, we can say. And we saw for the ear it is Dik or direction. For the skin it is Vayu. For eyes it is Surya. For tongue it is Varuna. And for nose it is Ashwina. Ashwina winds. And then we saw the next section for the component is Pancha Karmendriyas, Vak, Pani, Padam, Payu, Upastha, which is to ensure that we are able to act in this world. 5 organs of action. So the first one is for gathering the information, receiving the stimuli from the external world. The next is output in terms of responses from us. Vak is for speech. Pani, the hands, is for grasping. The legs is for locomotion, pada. Payu is for evacuation or removing the waste from the body. And upastha is for procreation or reproduction. And again we have corresponding devatas, which is Agni for speech, or we can say Saraswati, or sometimes we say Brihaspati. For the hands it is Indra. For the legs it is Vishnu. For the excretion it is Yama. And for reproduction it is Brahma or Prajapati. Then we saw Pancha Prana, the third section within this subtle body. Pancha Prana, we have these 5 pranas: Prana, Apana, Vyana, Samana, Udana. Prana is actually the respiratory system. Apana is the evacuating system. Vyana is the circulatory system. Samaha is the digestive system. And Udana is reversing system. And these Pancha Pranas are very important for providing the necessary energy to both the Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas, especially Karmendriyas. So, Pancha Prana, Hari Om, sorry, somebody is sharing the screen. Can you unshare, please? Your emails are all visible. Thank you. Then we saw the fourth section within the Sukshma Sharira is the Antakarana. The four Antakaranas, fourfold internal organs, which is Mana, Buddhi, Chittam and Ahankara. Mana or Manas is the memory. The emotional, Manas is not the memory, Manas is basically the mind, the emotional faculty, the doubting faculty. Then the Buddhi is the intellect or the rational faculty, the judging faculty. And then Chittam is memory, where all the whatever experiences we gather through these Jnanendriyas are recorded. Whatever Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, whatever we are gathering, that is recorded in the Chittam. And then finally, Ahankara, the ego or the faculty of self-reference. That which I refer to myself. This is my status, this is my pedigree, this is my body, this is my belonging. The sense of I and me is Ahankara. So together these 19 form Sukshma Sharira. We had covered until this last class. Now in terms of the function, the Sukshma Sharira is for transactions. All transactions are done through the Sukshma Sharira. These 19 instruments, Indriya we can also say instruments. So these 19 instruments are meant for input, output or processing. And some are, mouth for example is both for input as well as output. And so the function of the Sukshma Sharira is for transacting with this world. What about the nature? The nature of Sukshma Sharira is, with regards to change, of course this is also changing. The Sukshma Sharira improves at times, and there are times, and as we grow older it also weakens. So the eyes become poor, the memory fails, the intellect becomes dull, all these things happen. So the change is one feature. But in terms of longevity, while the Sthula Sariram is only available from birth to death of this body, so the body is available only for what we call between birth and death, the Sukshma Shariram has got a longer life. So the Sthula Shariram can at the most live for 100 years, 120 years, whatever it is, maximum. The Sukshma Shariram, it continues into our next Janma as well. So which means all the Sukshma Shariram, the 19 instruments are carried on from the one birth to another birth. So my physical body changes, but my subtle body does not change. And that's why we are able to remember certain things or get the benefit of the past Janma. Whatever samskaras we are doing, whatever vasanas we are carrying, whatever knowledge we have built in our intellect, these get carried forward in the next Janma. And I explain, that's why we are able to explain even prodigies. So the Sukshma Sharira gets carried forward from birth to birth. And what happens during pralaya? Pralaya, when the world goes into a dissolution phase, even there the Sukshma Sharira, it is dismantled then, as in the Sukshma Sharira is dismantled, but it comes back again after when the Srishti happens. Srishti meaning the creation or the evolution, whatever you call it. So it is available from birth to birth. Now what about its visibility? While the Sthula Shariram is visible to both self as well as to others, Sukshma Sharira is only evident and recognizable only for myself. Whether I may have the physical eyes, but whether I am able to see clearly or not, only I can say. The other person will not be able to make out whether I can see properly or not. The same thing with my ears. Whether I can hear properly or not can be only felt by myself and not by the other person. Similarly, what is in my mind? Only I know what my feelings are. The other person will not know what my feelings are. Memory again. I know what is in my memory, what is not in my memory. The other person will not be able to make it. So, in terms of the visibility, it is evident and recognizable for oneself but not for others. So that's Sukshma Sharira. Then the third body is Karana Sharira. Karana Sharira is also called as causal body. Causal body, and again the material for this causal body is again a subtle form of matter. Remember, all the 5 elements are matter. Akasha, Vayuhu, Vayur, Agni, Agnera, Apaha, Apaha, Prithivi. All these 5 are all matter. And this causal body is also made of causal matter. Technically it is called as avidya. Avidya generally means ignorance, but in this context it is different. Sometimes we use Prakriti for this matter also. We can say Prakriti, or we can say even Maya is the cause. Sometimes it's used in various scriptures using various phrases. And what about the component of the Karana Sharira? The component of the Karana Sharira is nothing but the Sthula Sukshma Sharira in the seed form, potential form, before they were created. That is what is there in the Karana Sharira. So before the origination of this world or the creation, or in the Pralaya Kale, when it is in the form, in the dissolution state, the Sukshma Sharira, as I said, will be dismantled and will be stored in the seed form in the Karana Sharira. So just like, as an analogy, we can say, it's just like a tree which is evident there, but there is always a seed. So we see a tree which is about 20 years old, is well grown and others, but 20 years ago it was there in a potential form, in an unmanifest form. The same tree was there, except that it was probably in a seed form. And a tree cannot come without a seed. The whole of Vedanta will conform to all the known science principles. So matter cannot be created, matter cannot be destroyed. It's the same. The law of conservation of matter will hold good whenever we study Vedanta. So similarly, our causal body is the seed form for the Sukshma Sharira. Where does it go? It goes into the Sukshma causal body and then comes out again as subtle body later on. after when the creation happens. Just like the seed evolves into a tree. So this causal body, what is the function of the causal body? The function of the causal body is it acts as the source from where these two bodies arise. So it acts as the place where the Stula Sukshma Sarira resolve. So it is the unmanifest form of the gross and the subtle body. In science, we would have heard matter converting into energy, energy converting into matter. Here we will say Stula Sukshma Sarira will convert itself into Karana Sharira. Karana Sharira will then convert it into Stula Sukshma Sarira. In science, energy is the unmanifest matter. Energy again condenses into matter. Here we consider all the Stula, Sukshma and Karana Sharira to be in the form of matter and energy. And there is a law of interconvertibility of matter and energy. It's the same. In Shastra, we will call it as manifest and unmanifest. So we have something called manifest condition and unmanifest condition. Vyaktam, Avyaktam. Vyaktam is the manifest condition. Avyaktam is the unmanifest condition. So from causal matter, the subtle and the gross matter arise. So that becomes Vyaktam. And then from the subtle and the gross matter again, the causal matter conversion takes place, that is called as Avyaktam. It goes into the unmanifest state. So basically the Karana Sharira serves as the storehouse for receiving these two Sharirams, and again in the next Srishti it actually comes up with the Shariras. So during Pralaya, so again if we look at when each body exists, until what time each body exists, until the death of the person, what we call as death of a person, the physical body exists, after which the physical body doesn't exist. So the physical body has got a limited life. The subtle body exists always until Pralaya, until when the universe goes into dissolution phase. So that's got a longer longevity. And the Karana Sharira, it exists even during Pralaya, because this exists as the storehouse for Stula Sukshma Sharira. Clear? Now, what about the nature? So when does the Karana Sharira then actually get destroyed? It doesn't get destroyed even when the whole universe gets destroyed. So when the Pralayam happens, we are still alive in the subtle form, so to speak, in Sukshma Sharira, as the seed form in this of the Sukshma Sharira, we still exist, and that seed form is called as Karana Sharira. So this Karana Sharira, when does it go away? It goes away only when liberation of a person happens. Only at the time of moksha, only at the time of mukti, this Karana Sharira gets destroyed. And what about we saw that Stula Sharira is evident to oneself as well as to others. Sukshma Sharira is evident to oneself but not to others. Karana Sharira is neither evident to oneself nor to others. So it is not evident to me also. I do not realize the Karana Sharira. It is unevident and undecipherable for anyone. We call this as Nirvikalpa Swarupam. Nirvikalpa Swarupam meaning indistinguishable. We cannot explain it clearly. looking at the seed, we cannot say how big the tree would be. So in the same form, the Karana Sharira, with that we will not be able to say what is the Sthula or Sukshma Sharira. It is indistinguishable. So the Karana Sharira is Anadi. It is beginningless. So if somebody asks, when did the Karana Sharira come? When did we first come to life? It is beginningless. Which came first? It is like asking which came first, the seed or the tree, the hen or the egg. There is no answer. It's always been a cycle. And similarly, the Karana Sharira is beginningless. It is beyond time. Only Sukshma Sharira can measure time. Mind can measure time, but Karana Sharira is beyond time. So, summarizing, that body, the Anatma Tattva, the Achetana principle, has got three types of bodies: Sthula, Sukshma, Karana Shariras. Or in other words, we call them as Sharira Trayam, the three types of bodies. Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira. And every individual has got all these three bodies. Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira. Now, before I get into the next topic, which is Panchakosham, the same bodies now we are going to dissect in a different manner. The same Anatma principle, we are going to see it through a different dimension. Before I go on to that, are there any questions on Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira? Okay. Somebody is typing. Do other life forms have the three bodies like plants and animals? Yes, they do have. Okay. And as I said, the next body, they also have the Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira. Everybody, today we are human beings. In our next lives, we could be animals as well. Or we could be born as a plant. We don't know. So, yes, all the individuals have Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira. But right now we are studying in depth about a human individual. When we say the Sukshma Shariram, the 19 components, we are primarily discussing a human here. Some plants do not come out of seeds like banana plant, and yes, that seed example I gave as an example, that seed is not the Karana Sharira. Please do not mistake that the seed is the Karana Sharira. As I said, the Karana Sharira is invisible. It is unperceivable. I just gave an example. The seed form of a tree or a plant is the same as Asti form of our existence. So before we are born, there is an Asti where we are in the womb. The same is the example for the seed. Do not confuse the seed to be the Karana Sharira. This is body or soul. I don't understand. What is the question? Okay. Does the vasanas exist even when the next janma is an animal or a plant and continues on to a human form in the next? Yes. The vasanas will continue irrespective of whichever form you take. It will be stored in the memory, but how much of vasanas get evident in your next birth, it really depends on the strength of each of these vasanas. So sometimes it could be dormant, sometimes it could come out. For example, even in our human life, some of these vasanas wouldn't be there. Suddenly a person turns spiritual, maybe half the life afterwards, because these vasanas could have been existing in his Sukshma Sarira, but it wouldn't be evident in the first half of his life, and suddenly, because it was dormant, and suddenly it becomes evident. So vasanas will continue. The three forms are body or soul. So soul is a word I wouldn't use here. Soul is a very Christian concept. I wouldn't Abrahamic concept, I would say, because and each one will have their different version of soul. Because so here what we are discussing is basically the three forms of body. Now, in Christianity or in any place, we could have said, or when we say, the soul has left the body. The soul has left the body. If we want to actually apply this in our context, then we can say the Sukshma Sharira along with the reflected consciousness, we'll talk about it. The Sukshma Sharira along with the reflected consciousness has left the body. So you can equate then the soul to be the Sukshma Sharira plus the reflected consciousness. What is the reflected consciousness? We will see it in a class later, in a later class. So that is how you can equate the soul. Okay. Okay, next, Panchakosha. As I said, the same three bodies, we can actually see them through a different dimension. In the Shastras, we call it as Panchakosha Viveka. Okay, now why do we take the Sarira Trayam? The important thing for us to understand is the Sharira Trayam is all matter principle. All three of them are matter. They are not sentient. They do not have the life principle within it. So when I say I, me, it cannot be those matter principle. So we have to understand that. So why do we use the Sharira Trayam? The Sharira Trayam is to negate that I am not the physical body, negate I am not the subtle body, and negate I am not the causal body also. So we will see that. So that's why sometimes in Shastras we say Sharira Traya Viveka. So to understand who I am, I understand what I am not. And I negate what I am not, thereby arriving at who I am. Okay. And the next topic that we are going to take is the Panchakosha Viveka, where I'm going to actually, we are going to split the same three bodies into 5 different layers. It's called as 5 sheets. And we will understand these 5 sheets and then say, okay, these 5 sheets, I am not these 5 sheets. These 5 layers, I am not these 5 layers. And the Kosha Panchakam or Panchakosha Viveka, there are 5 layers. So 5-fold personality layers. And as I said, the Sharira Trayam is split into Panchakoshas. Same person, same bodies, but different dimensions. So when we split the same individual with regards to the matter, what it is made of, we could split it into 3, right? Physical matter, physical body; subtle matter, subtle body; causal matter, causal body. So we split it on the basis of what it is made of. Now we will divide it based on the function. the same bodies, we'll divide it into based on functions. The first function or the first body is called as Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha means the food layer, the food sheath. These 5 layers, I'll first give the first 5 layers and then we'll go into each one of them. So the first one is Annamaya Kosha. The second one is Pranamaya Kosha. The third one is Manonmaya Kosha. The fourth one is Vijnanamaya Kosha. The fifth one is Anandamaya Kosha. Kosha meaning sheath or layer. So Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manonmaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha. The Annamaya Kosha is nothing but, we can say, the Sthula Shariram is called as Annamaya Kosha. The physical body is called as Annamaya Kosha. And it has not got any subdivisions. And similarly, if we will take the last one, which is the Anandamaya Kosha, the Karana Shariram is called as Anandamaya Kosha. Again, it has not got any subdivisions. So it's easy to equate. Physical body or the gross body is equal to Sthula Shariram is equal to Pranamaya Kosha. Causal body or Karana Sharira is equal to Anandamaya Kosha. The middle Sharira, the Sukshma Sharira, that is subdivided into 3 koshas. One is called as Pranamaya Kosha, the other one is Manonmaya Kosha and the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Now Annamaya Kosha is the food layer. The food layer or the Sthula Sharira, we can also call that as anatomical system, the anatomy, the human anatomy. The is called as Annamaya Kosha, the structure of the body, the organs, the physical part, the limbs and all those things. Remember, even the physical parts as in the physical heart, the physical lungs is all called as Sthula Shariram. It is all part of Annamaya Kosha. Because it is nourished by food. The entire physical body is nourished by food we eat. So that is why it is called as Annamaya Kosha. It is born out of food. It is born out of food that the mother eats. And after it comes out into this universe, this body, it is also further nourished by the food we eat. So it is called as Annamaya Kosha. And we say, what Shastra says is, you are not the Annamaya Kosha. You are not the physical body. But what we generally understand, we take ourselves to be this body. When we look into the mirror, say, I look great. So we take the physical body to be ourselves. We have this abhimana on our body. We have this attachment, and because the consciousness principle is so close to this anatma, we mistake them to be one. And we do not understand ourselves to be the atma. We understand ourselves to be the physical body. So this is Annamaya Kosha. The next one is Pranamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kosha is the energy layer or the physiological system, we can say. Physiological system, it means the functions of whatever functions this anatomy does can be considered as Pranamaya Kosha. So at the time of death, basically, when I say at the time of death, the Sukshma Sharira leaves, In other words, we can also say the Pranamaya Kosha, the Manonmaya Kosha and the Vijnanamaya Kosha leaves the body. And the Pranamaya Kosha, it consists, what is it made of? The Pranamaya Kosha, it is a portion of the Sukshma Sharira. The Pranamaya Kosha is also called as Kriya Shakti. You heard of Icha, Jnana, Kriya Shakti? So this Pranamaya Kosha can be considered as Kriya Shakti. And what does it consist of? It consists of 10 organs. 10 organs out of the 19 of Sukshma Sharira. What are those 10? Because we can easily guess, right? Pranamaya Kosha, we say. So Pancha Prana should be the part of it. So the 5 pranas are part of this Pranamaya Kosha. What about the next 5? Because it is Kriya Shakti is basically action. So for action we need energy in the form of prana and we need the karmendriyas. So the Pancha Karmendriyas come as part of this Pranamaya Kosha. So the 10 organs are basically Pancha Prana, Pancha Karmendriyas, the one which gives the energy and the tools for us to do action. So that is called as Pranamaya Kosha. So we are dividing the same 3 bodies in different layers as sheets. And this sheet is something when it comes to meditation, when it comes to certain principles of actually negating oneself, or when it comes to yoga, we will use these Pancha Koshas. The third body or the third sheet, not body, the third sheet, the third layer is called as Manonmaya Kosha, or the mind layer, the psychological function. The psychological function, the emotions, the doubts, the desires, all come under Manonmaya Kosha. So we can say, because it is desires, it can say Icha Shakti. Icha Shakti comes out of Manonmaya Kosha. And because it is Manonmaya Kosha, again it is very easy to find out which portions of the Sukshma Sharira will be part of this. Mind will definitely be part of it, Manaha, along with the Chittam and Ahankara. Along with Chittam and Ahankara becomes one part, and for Icha, for the desire to happen, we'll have to have the sense organs as well. So the Pancha Jnanendriyas become part of this Manonmaya Kosha. So for the Manonmaya Kosha, there are 6 organs, we can say. Basically the 5 Jnanendriyas along with mind, but the mind always comes with Chittam and Ahankara comes together. Chittam and Ahankara goes wherever mind goes or wherever intellect goes. So this is Manonmaya Kosha, or we can say Icha Shakti. Remember, whenever we want to act, whenever we want to make an action, it has to be preceded by a desire. Don't think desire to be something like I have to bring in my mind and I have to do that. Any action before we act is preceded by a desire. Sometimes the desire, the preceding desire is so it stays for a fraction of a second. We don't even realize that there is a desire. For example, I desire to get up and only then I get up. I desire to drink water and then only drink water. But we take it as if it is actually a natural action. but it is always preceded by a desire. Any action is always preceded by a desire. So that's why the Pranamaya Kosha is preceded by Manomaya Kosha. The Manomaya Kosha gives the desire, and then the Pranamaya Kosha acts on it. So, and Kriya Shakti is always preceded by a Ichcha Shakti. So we have seen three now: Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manonmaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha is Sthula Sharira, Pranamaya Kosha is Pancha Pranas plus Karmendriyas, Manonmaya Kosha is Manaha, Chittam, Ahankara plus Jnanendriyas. Now the fourth one is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya Kosha meaning intellect layer, cognitive personality, the knowing personality. So that was Ichcha Shakti. This one becomes Jnana Shakti. Kriya Shakti, Ichcha Shakti, Jnana Shakti. So before I desire, I need to know about things. I cannot desire for something which I don't know about. For example, I don't even know what is Switzerland, or what is a Ferrari, or what is, I don't know, even say for example, even an aeroplane. Then I will not even have the desire to be in Switzerland or drive a Ferrari or fly in a plane. Unless I know, I will not even desire. So a desire has to be preceded by knowledge. Just as action needs to be preceded by a desire needs to be preceded by knowledge. And therefore the fourth layer becomes Vijnanamaya Kosha or Jnana Shakti. So the Vijnanamaya Kosha knows, Manonmaya Kosha desires, then Pranamaya Kosha acts. Janati, Ichchati, Yatate. So this is also again part of Sukshma Sharira. Again 6 organs here. We saw it is intellect, so it is definitely Buddhi there. Buddhi comes along with Chittam and Ahankara. And then because it is knowledge, you need the organs of knowledge, the Pancha Jnanendriyas. So the Pancha Jnanendriyas plus Buddhi becomes your Vijnanamaya Kosha. So Pancha Jnanendriyas comes both in the Manonmaya Kosha as well as Vijnanamaya Kosha, except that one is backed by Manas, the other is backed by intellect. In fact, I said there are 19 organs in Sukshma Sharira, right? In certain books or certain scriptures, we will refer to them as only 16. Or certain books it will be referred to as 17. Because if it is 16, which means they classify all these 4, which is Manas, Buddhi, Chittam, Ahankara as one, which is called as Antakarana. They call it as one organ, Antakarana. In some places, they always say Chittam and Ahankara is always there. So they will say it is Manas plus Buddhi. The Chittam and Ahankara, it is always taken for granted along with Manas and Buddhi. So they will say 17 in some places. And in some places they say 19 because there all these 4 are individually classified. But it is actually Antakarana, only one organ is there. The one organ functions as 4. The one organ functions as, when it is doubting faculty, it is called as Manas. When it is making a decision, it is called as Buddhi. When it gets stored, it becomes Chittam. And when it acts as the ahankara, when it acts as if the recognition of self, then it becomes ahankara. Okay, so this is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. So Vijnanamaya Kosha knows, Manonmaya Kosha desires, Pranamaya Kosha acts. So now we saw the Sukshma Sharira being divided into 3 koshas. The last one, Annamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, is the bliss layer, the causal body, the unconscious, we can say. It is called as, it is nothing but the Karana Sharira, the unconscious. So whatever emotions that are dormant, they are all dormant form, is all in the Anandamaya Kosha. So this is called as Anandamaya Kosha, where things are dormant. It is seemingly happy because it is ignorant of what the dormant emotions are. And when we are in a state of, say for example, when we are in too much of pain, we go to the unconscious state, which is kind of called the Karana Sharira state. So we go into the Karana Sharira state. It's something like we are unconscious about the whole thing. It is a state. Okay. So Anandamaya Kosha, it seems as if it is bliss state, but it is not the same bliss state as what we consider as Nirvikalpa Samadhi or anything. This bliss state is ignorant filled bliss state, where we are ignorant about the self, but everything is dormant, and therefore we are seemingly in bliss. Okay? Where I do not feel the pain, I do not feel all the emotions. So these are the 5 layers of the personality, Kosha Panchakam. So I'll see some questions coming through. Let me check on that. Why cannot we see the Karana Sharira? No, it cannot be seen. Why cannot? It cannot. This is how the bodies have been made. Why cannot I see even my mind? I cannot see my mind. I can only feel something. I know I cannot even see the mind. There are so many things which we cannot. I cannot fly. Why cannot I fly? I cannot fly. That's all. No, I don't have an answer for that. It is like that. Why so many classifications and sub-classifications have been done? As I said, the classifications have been done to negate things. So the idea is to first understand what I am not. Because to understand what I am, who I am, is difficult. We will get to that. And therefore the easy way to understand is to understand what I am not. And to me to negate, I have to understand at different layers, using different dimensions to understand what I am not. And some people can get it through the Shariratraya Viveka. Some people will be able to get it at Panchakosha Viveka. Some people will be able to get it at Avastatraya Viveka, which we also will see. We'll see this. We'll try to negate what we are not through another method called as Avastatraya. We'll see it. Layer 1, Annamaya Kosha, Stula Shariram, gross physical body. Layer 2, acts. Pranamaya Kosha, Kriya Shakti, Pancha Prana plus Karmendriyas. Yes. Layer 3, nose. Manonmaya Kosha, Ichcha Shakti. Manas, Chittam, Ahankara and Pancha Jnanendriyas. It precedes layer 2. Yes. Layer 4, desires. Vijnanamaya Kosha plus Jnana Shakti. Vijnanamaya Kosha or Jnana Shakti. This Pancha Jnanendriyas plus Buddhi and intellect. Yes. And you'll have to also add the Chittam and Ahankara. Yeah. Then layer 5, Anandamaya Kosha or Karana Shariram, the dormant, unknown emotions, the ignorance is bliss, kind of the ignorantly blissful condition. The ignorantly blissful condition is called as Anandamaya Kosha. Antakarana is Manas, Chittam, Ahankara, Buddhi. Correct. All are correct. Is Anandamaya Kosha the state like Sushupti stage? We can say that. We can say that Sushupti stage is when the Anandamaya Kosha is kind of or comes to the fore. For people who do not understand the Sushupta stage, this is what I am going to say, the Avastha Trayam. We will be discussing the Avastha Trayam, where we will be discussing the 3 states of experience. We will come to that probably in the next class. Are there any other questions? On this Shariratrayam or Panchakosha? Is Jiva has to cross all these koshas one by one to reach to ever happiness? There is no need to cross. There is no physical crossing happens here. I don't know what you mean by cross here, but what we have to understand is it is not actually the physical sheath. I cannot remove Annamaya Kosha and see the Pranamaya Kosha. No, it's not. It's not as if it's a layer, physical layers. It is the same thing I am trying to understand through different dimensions. And what we are saying as crossing is basically to say, what are the things I experience, I am not. That ever happiness, I don't know whether you mean ever happiness because Mukti, a Mukti Purusha is ever happiness, ever blissful. Is that what you mean by ever happiness here? No, Anand, you mean Anandamaya Kosha. Look, Anandamaya Kosha is not the state which we want to achieve. It is always there. Whenever we are in deep sleep, we are in Anandamaya Kosha. As in, we are blissfully ignorant of ourselves. So, which means when I am awake, I compare with my others and I get either pride or jealousy, or I get dejected, depressed, or ecstatic. There is always emotions called. But then when I am asleep or when I am awake, I feel that I wish I was more taller, I wish I had the better spouse, I wish I had a better boss. All those things are in my mind. But when I am asleep, I am blissfully ignorant of everything. I don't even know whether I am actually tall, dark, short. I don't even know whether I am rich or poor. I don't even know whether I am a male or a female. I am blissfully ignorant of everything. That is called as Anandamaya Kosha. Okay, so we don't need to reach that stage. We reach that stage every night. We are there. When we are in deep sleep, we are blissfully ignorant. This is not liberation. Anandamaya Kosha is not liberation. Okay, that's why I said blissfully ignorant. Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll see it in the. When inventions happen, desire precedes jnana? No. We have a knowledge of what we want, and therefore the desire comes, and therefore we act. Of course, that seed has to be a knowledge. Look, when an aeroplane was invented, there was a desire to fly. But even before the desire to fly, they saw a bird, that knowledge that a bird can fly. And therefore I want to fly. So there is always a preceding knowledge. Of course, after the desire, for you to actually work on the desire, you will get further knowledge. That's it. Is layer 4, when you say layer 4, you mean Vijnanamaya Kosha, has the ability to discriminate? Yes. It is the Vijnanamaya Kosha has the ability to discriminate. It is we know the right action from the wrong one, the right desire to the wrong one. Look, it is not Viveka. I wouldn't say Viveka is Vijnanamaya Kosha, or rather Viveka is a concept where I am able to understand what is permanent and what is impermanent. Every individual has got Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is the rational faculty to decide. I would say to decide is probably the rational faculty Vijnanamaya Kosha. And they make a call and they make a decision, whether right or wrong, whether good or bad, they make this call. That call making is done by Vijnanamaya Kosha. The Viveka is a knowledge that I will have to get to know that what is impermanent and what is permanent. Not many people will have it. Not many people will even do any vichara on what is permanent and what is impermanent. Okay. So Vijnanamaya Kosha is the one that takes the decision. Does it always know what is right or wrong? Does it always know what is good or bad? Not necessarily. It depends on individuals' vasanas, their desires, their samskaras. Yeah, a lot of things. Okay, then we will see it in the further things. We will see it in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha. Go Brahmanebhyo Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Hari Om Shri Guru.